Hey, this is Rob Minton and welcome back to another Cash on Earth video. In my videos, I try to share innovative strategies that you can use to increase your income and cash flow from investments. You can use this income and cash flow to pay off your debt so that you can move into this position of financial strength, the glorious position of FU. In this video, I want to talk about how you can use rental real estate to fund your retirement account without having to save a penny out of your pocket. You can probably tell that I'm a little bit passionate about using rental real estate to hit any financial goal that you have. This may sound odd coming from a guy who teetered on the verge of bankruptcy because of rental real estate, but despite everything I went through, I still honestly believe that it is one of the best investments anyone can make, and it's not necessarily because of the financial benefit of the property that you purchase. It's because you can use rental real estate strategically to pay off your mortgage, to pay for college for your kids, to retire early, to set up a medical hedge fund for your family. You can use rental real estate in several different ways to achieve your financial goals. Several years ago, I wrote a book detailing the plan that I used to fund the college education of our daughters using rental real estate. Step by step exactly what I did to buy single family homes for them. The income from those properties then was used to help pay for college, and then after graduation, those homes become our daughters' homes. So those homes are now assets that our daughters own. They have monthly cash flow coming in from those homes. They can use that cash flow to pay student loans if they have student loans, to offset living expenses, to pay rent, to buy a home, to start a business. They have assets that will continue to provide benefits to them going forward. The benefit of those homes that we purchase for them is not necessarily the return on investment from the home, it's everything that that home provides for them. In a different video, I shared how you could use rental real estate to pay off the mortgage on your primary residence several years early. I mean, like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years early, saving you well over $100,000 in interest. The cool part about that strategy is that you will not be making those extra mortgage payments out of your pocket. The tenants in your rental properties will actually be paying off your mortgage for you. In this video, I want to share how you can use rental real estate to fund your retirement account. You can also use it to fund your spouse's retirement account. And dare I say it, you can use rental real estate to fund the retirement accounts of your kids. Now, there is a lot more to that strategy about using rental real estate to fund your kids' retirement accounts. I'm not going to get into that in this video. In this video, I just want to highlight the strategy that you can use to have a 7-figure retirement account without saving a penny. And to do that, I'm going to go over to my computer and show you a little case study. The traditional retirement plan that we have all been taught to follow, the plan requires us to consistently save a portion of every single paycheck we collect and contribute this into the company retirement plan. And then if we do this for 20, 30, 40, who knows, maybe in 50 years, you'll finally be able to retire at some point, maybe in your 60s or 70s. The reason why this plan is not the best plan is that it forces you to work for 40 plus years, right? And you have to work so many years because you are the main income producing asset of this plan. If you are not working, you won't be saving any money for your retirement. So who really benefits from this retirement savings plan? Well, number one, your employer benefits because you have to work for 20, 30, or 40 years. So they have your assistance full-time for all those years. And the second entity or company that benefits from the traditional retirement plan is whoever is administering the retirement plan for your company. They obviously make management fees for administering the retirement plan for your company. So those two entities benefit. You actually have to continue to work for 40 years until you can hopefully then finally benefit. So let's talk about a better plan. And this plan we like to refer to as creating automatic asset acquisition vehicles. Now, I know that sounds a little complex, but really what it is that you acquire an asset and then you use this initial asset to acquire additional assets for your family. So instead of you going to work being the main asset, your income producing asset that you acquire, that asset then goes to work for you while you're doing other things. And one of the best and most powerful automatic asset acquisition vehicles is rental real estate. And that's because it offers monthly positive cash flow. You can use this monthly positive cash flow to start funding your retirement plan. So here's how this could look hypothetically, is that you have a single family rental property that offers $350 of monthly positive cash flow. And this is obviously hypothetical. And in this example, we're saying that this is the cash flow after you've paid any maintenance or repairs or a mortgage payment or whatever the expenses of the property are. But this is what's left over at the end of the month. So you can use this monthly cash flow to acquire additional income producing assets. The safest and maybe the most conservative strategy might be to use the monthly cash flow from your rental property to automatically acquire shares of the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. And this is the index fund that Warren Buffett recommends, and he makes this recommendation for two reasons. One is the Vanguard funds are very inexpensive. They don't really charge you a lot of money, so you have more of your money at work. And the second reason he recommends this is that this Total Stock Market Index Fund basically provides you with a great deal of diversification. You're owning a little bit of the entire stock market. And you can see on the screen that the 10-year historical return, annual return for this fund is around 12.51%. So our idea or our plan here is to buy a rental property and then use the monthly cash flow to automatically acquire shares of the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. And you can see here, this is a compound interest calculator showing how that plan would look if you were to invest $350 a month every single month for the next 30 years. And we're using the historical 10-year annual return for the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. You can see here that if you buy one property today and you use the monthly positive cash flow to fund this index fund, that in 30 years you're going to have $1.2 million. Now, once you purchase that property, you're not saving any additional money. The property is basically going to work to fund your retirement plan. So this AAAV will continue buying more and more income producing assets for your family each month, and it will ultimately create a 7-figure retirement fund for you. The cool part about this plan is that you are no longer the income producing asset. If you don't go to work this month, your rental property is still funding your retirement plan. And this is really a game changer, because if you continue to work and continue to save into your retirement plan, you are basically doubling down on the future assets that you're going to be able to accumulate. And at the end of the 30 years, if you just follow this plan for 30 years, you're going to have a mortgage-free rental home offering you additional monthly cash flow. And that's simply because the tenants in your property are paying down your mortgage with each and every single rent payment they send to you. On a big picture, this plan is really powerful because it allows you to double your annual investment returns. So let's just say hypothetically that your single-family rental property provides you with an annual return of 15%, and then you invest this 15% into the Vanguard Index Fund, and that fund then starts earning 12.5% a year, which was the historical annual return. You're doubling your returns because your investment income is being reinvested, and you're now generating 27.5% annually because you layered those two investments on top of each other. Now, the cool part about this strategy is that you can use it with several different automatic acquisition vehicles at the same time. So imagine how this would look if you had two single-family rental properties, and both of these properties generated $350 a month, and you had the cash flow from both properties going automatically into your Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. Here's how this would look in 30 years. You would have two rental assets that then funded $1.1 million each. So you'd have $2.2 million in 30 years. But you can also see here that around year 24, you would have $534,000 from property 1 and another $534,000 from property 2. So that is 24 years, you'd have $1 million. This just shows you how powerful an AAAV can be, and you can have multiple. You can have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of these, all of the cash flow funneling into your retirement fund. Another interesting thing about this AAAV plan is that you can really use it with any asset that provides you with reoccurring positive monthly cash flow. Here are a couple of different assets you can use for your AAAV. If you wanted to kind of just go right to the most profitable opportunity, you could look for an apartment building. And the reason why this is the most profitable is apartment buildings typically provide more monthly cash flow. You could obviously then reinvest that cash flow into your retirement fund. The more cash flow that goes in, the faster you'll build your 7-figure retirement fund. You can use multifamily properties. That would be a 2-family, a 3-family, or a 4-family property. You could do single-family homes. You could do short-term rental properties, or you could go buy a small positive cash flow business and use the cash flow from that business to fund your retirement plan as outlined in this video. Or maybe you can find a really cool small business that offers a lot of monthly positive cash flow. You could acquire that business and then set the cash flow from that business to go into your 7-figure retirement fund plan. So if you do a deep dive into all this, you're going to see that the real key to creating multiple 7-figure retirement plans or portfolios is monthly cash flow, right? It's that $350 a month that we said hypothetically comes in from your rental property. This is the key. You want to create as many of these monthly cash flow streams as possible so that you can funnel those into your Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. So cash flow is really the goose that lays the golden eggs, and that's because you can systematically use every single dollar of cash flow you create to acquire new income producing assets. And if you combine these two assets, you're doubling your annual returns. So what do you think of that case study? Is that a pretty cool way to use rental real estate? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I love thinking about different ways to use real estate to fund our other financial goals and obligations. Now, I obviously used a very conservative investment example. I used a fund that Warren Buffett recommends, and that fund is diversified as you'll be investing into the total stock market, right? And the Vanguard funds typically have very low fees, so it's a very safe and conservative investment. If you use that particular investment, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a great long-term return. But you could obviously reinvest the income from your rental real estate into different stocks, different ETFs. And if you would like to try to actually improve your financial results with your investments into the stock market, I would highly recommend getting my book. It's titled Multimillionaire Kids, How to Invest and Save for Your Kids. This book is available on Amazon. Hopefully you can find it by searching. If I remember, I'll put a link below. But the reason why I'm recommending this book is because in the book, I outline a specific investment strategy that you can use in the stock market that would allow you to own the best businesses in the world while generating very attractive monthly income. So you have this compounding of income, plus you're building wealth. It's like you get to have your cake and eat it too. So the book was written about using that strategy for your children, but you can use that strategy for yourself. And I think if you combine rental real estate with that strategy, you're going to be pretty impressed by the results that you get. And to wrap up this video, I thought I would make an interesting offer to you. And that offer would be to schedule a brainstorming phone call with me. And I'll do my best to make sure there's a link below the video. But during this Zoom call, we can kind of talk about your personal situation as well as different ideas that you might be able to use with rental real estate to achieve your financial goals. And I'm just a geek about this stuff. I love thinking about different ways to layer different things on top of each other to accelerate results. So I hope this video was helpful, and I will catch you in the next one.